All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. It's Saturday, just after 4 o'clock, and we're ready to get another episode. It's a big Saturday in the world of sports, pretty much a big weekend in the world of sports. Remember the number to call is 512-543-4662. I'll repeat that again, 512-543-4662. Don't forget, you can check this show out on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in the Enhanced Sports Show. And if you wish to subscribe, press the subscribe button, and it costs you $4.95 a month. And okay, we're getting more callers in. Good, good. Hold on a second, boy. Make it official. Don't forget about our other shows. Justice Sports Monday nights from 7 to 9 with Kevin Dixon. Russell McGee's show coming up right after this at 6 o'clock. And Betty Cantley's new show, which will begin on April 21st. I believe the time is 8 to 9:30. Times may change, but I'll keep you updated just to make sure. All right, like I said, we got a lot to talk about, so we'll get the party started. All right. Come in, Steve Davidson. Right. Steve Kent. Matthew. Here we go again. And Diane. At least you got 3 out of 4. Right. Matthew, are you there? There we go. That's better. All right. All right, guys. Well, it's getting down to the wire here as we now into the Elite Eight. And by the end of the day, it'll be the Super Six in the men's college basketball. I like that. Super Six. So let's recap of where we are and how we got to this point. All right. Let me back up to Thursday. Okay. Thursday we had UConn manhandling San Diego State 82-52. Not for nothing, but I thought it was going to be a much better game. San Diego State is not a slouch, especially after, I pulled up some pretty big upsets last season. I thought maybe they were going to be able to duplicate on that, but I mean, it was strong in the first half. But UConn was just proving to be too powerful. I really thought that this game was going to make a bigger game because in the first half it was rather close, but then UConn just pulled away. So that was kind of surprising. Another big surprise, North Carolina lost to Alabama by 2 points, 89-87. Alabama, I think more as a football school, not a basketball school, but hey, they surprised us all. And they'll be playing like an all SEC matchup tonight. Ooh, Caitlin Clark on the run here. Ooh, nice. Also, Arizona, Clemson over Arizona 77-72 on Thursday, and Iowa State over Illinois 72-69. So we got to that part of the bracket. Now, over to the other part. So by the way, let's put it this way. If your team is still in, you're still in the madness. If you're out, I guess you can call it March Sadness. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a regular Nipsey Russell, okay? Yes. Okay. Last night, here was all right. I thought, Purdue was gonna win, but I thought maybe Gonzaga. Actually, I thought Gonzaga was gonna pull off the upset because you know how Gonzaga can be up against big teams like the number 1, number 2 seeds. But they fell flat last night. They looked awful in the first half, to say the least. And Purdue, thanks to its star player Zach Edey, probably the best game in the tournament so far. They whipped them 80-68. Edey is going. Do I hear Mike? He's here. He's here. Yeah. So I was kind of surprised about. Well, Zach Edey is, of course, the dominant player on the men's side this year. I kind of look at him as the male counterpart of Caitlin Clark. Okay, maybe that's not a very fair comparison, but you get the idea, folks. All right. And well, I hate to sound like a cliche, but Houston, you had a problem last night and you lost. You lost to Almighty Duke, 54-51. And I'll explain something of that a little bit later on. Well, another one I thought was going to be we have another big upset last night. Now this might be the big surprise in the tournament. North Carolina State, who 41 years ago pulled up one of the biggest upsets in college basketball history, upset Marquette last night, 67-58. In fact, before I go to the next score here. Let's discuss this. 41 years ago, none of the players on the current NC State roster were even born when the Wolfpack went on the improbable run to beat five Slam and Gemma, that's Houston, back in 1983, and they made history. This season, the Wolfpack are becoming like the 1983 all over again. Well, I believe in deja vu, don't you? A seemingly unlikely team, 11 seed, to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament when it began. The Wolfpack moved into Sunday's Elite Eight game by being Marquette 67 to 58. They will play Duke, which defeated Houston last night. NC State beat Houston 1983 title game on a last second shot by Lorenzo Charles as they won on the dunk. Oh boy. Guys, I remember that game very well. NC State also won the championship back in 1974 under Coach Dave Thompson. I kind of forgot about that. I kind of forgot about the 1974 final. Coach Kevin Keats referred to members of both teams as big brothers, uncles, and maybe some even granddads to the current players. Well, I guess you can say like that, granddads, maybe, depending how you look at it. All right, now you're in, Mike. Can you hear me, Mike? I want to discuss with that later in the show, so stick around. Yeah, I just want to just control the background noise, okay? That's all. Whatever that is. All right. So to continue on with this story, Coach Kevin Keats again. So like, in other words, like, well, they're like family to them. Okay, I get it. Our 83 team in 74 have been tremendous. So Keats, we don't have to talk about the history now because we celebrate the entire time. It's been talked about since I've been here. It's going to be talked about as long as we ever going to remember. Well, that's true. It's not one of those things where we have to point out and say, here's what happened back in 1983. Here's what happened back in 1974. We talked about the great Dave Thompson, obviously, we had a statue unveiled for him for this year. Those guys are always around, and they always will be. I mean, that they achieve greatness. This NC State team had to win 5 games in 5 days to win the ACC tournament. Not easy to do, just to qualify to get to this tournament, guys. Now, that's not easy to do. It's not easy to win 5 games in a conference tournament to get to the big dance. I mean, the odds are very highly against you. I mean, it's tough to win 4, maybe even 3. But, NC State did what very few teams they will do to win 5 straight games just to get there. Otherwise, they would not be in this tournament at all. So, they have a victory in themselves already. They actually beat Duke along the way. It is now won 3 additional games in this tournament by dominating Marquette. The Wolfpack held the Golden Eagles to 4 from 31 shooting from a 3-point range and outbounded them 42 to 35. Yeah, 42 to 35. Those stats could get NC State to its first Final Four in 41 years if they can do this again tomorrow. Wow. Senator DJ Burns said, why not us? We got a lot of respect. We got a lot of disrespect. People still don't think we're supposed to be here, but we're going to keep trying to crash the party. I can put that better myself. Yeah, maybe nobody expected them to be here, but they are here, pulling off the upsets, and may make another run in college basketball history. So I've always said, never underestimate your opponent, because just because you think that you can beat them doesn't mean you're going to. So you had to factor in that. I mean, we haven't seen a run like this in a long time. We had St. Peter's a few years ago as a 15 seed, and they got this far, but they got stopped short. So NC State looks like to be the Cinderella team this year. Listen, guys, can they make a Final Four appearance if they should win tomorrow? I'll start that off with you. What do you think of North Carolina State chances of winning tomorrow's game? Yeah, yeah. Right. I'd like to welcome James to the show. James, how are you? Yeah, James, what are your thoughts? Does NC State have a run here? Uh, I'll say that's a yes. Yes. Mhm. Yes. Um, Matthew, your thoughts? Oh yeah, that's okay. Mm. Steve Kent. Yes, that's right. Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh. No, they don't. I don't either. I mean, actually, I did take NC State as an upset in the earlier round, so I think maybe that we might be onto something here. You know, there's always one team in the lower bracket seeds that are better than than what it indicates. So I shouldn't be too surprised with this, and I think they're gonna be very deserving of getting into the Final Four should that happen. Mikey, so in other words, you think North Carolina State does have a prayer. Mm, Diane, I'm not going to rule them out. It might be a tall order against Duke, but I'm not going to rule out. You might see something here. I think it's going to be a very well played game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think I might see Duke taking a little bit of a slight edge. But I'm sure that I mean, look, North Carolina's been going this long without finding it all its way in. This shouldn't be any different. But it all depends on what Duke does with their strategy tomorrow. So we'll have to see. And the last game that we had was Tennessee versus I Hate Creighton. Ain't Tennessee 8275. Thank goodness. As we all know, I am the president of the I Hate Creighton fan club. You guys all know that. All right, that was Friday. All right, so let's go over to tonight's games. All right, for tonight we have UConn versus Illinois. Steve Davidson, take it. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to compare him to Allen Iverson. Okay, fine. All right. Okay, fine. Steve Kent. 25. I was just thinking about the other 25 are not going or not taking UConn. All right. Uh, I wonder what they're thinking. Matt, Matthew. You got I don't know. Okay. All right. Mike, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You have some great shooters. Diane. Diane. Wonder where she went. Yeah. Illinois or UConn? Thank you. James. Good. I'm going UConn. No, that was James. I'm gonna go with UConn. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be a very competitive game, but I think UConn has a slight edge. All right, on to the next game. Coming up at eight, just about before 9 o'clock. What sounds like an ACC football matchup. It's actually college basketball, as we got Alabama versus Clemson, number 4 to number 6. All right, Steve. Just for laughs, just say who it is. Of course, Steve Kent. You might be right about that. Okay. Uh, James. You gotta go Clemson. Okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Uh, Mike. Mike. Diane. James. Greg. You guys are on already, you know. Okay. All right. Okay, hold on, guys. All right. We're going over basketball picks right now. So, James, who do you have in this? Who do you have in this game between Alabama and Clemson, which sounds more like a football matchup, but it's not. James. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. All right. Greg or Caleb, what do you make of that matchup? Alabama, Clemson. Alabama or Clemson in the second game tonight. Yeah. Well, hold on, Greg. We're doing college right now. We're doing college basketball. We're doing college basketball right now. We're going over the final eight. Oh, yeah, who do you got? You got Illinois. Oh, okay, I got it now. I got you. All right, but in the second, yeah, yeah, yes, you do. How long ago? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay, but Greg, who do you have between Alabama and Clemson? Okay, okay, I get it. You got a good point there. This is a fairly even match too. I mean, 24-11, both teams, but this, of course, like I said, this sounds more like a football matchup rather than a basketball matchup, but this should be pretty entertaining. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Clemson, just to go out on a limb. Okay, the women's game. Get ready, guys. Okay, the women's. We're going women's now. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Okay, now we go to the women's bracket. And by the way, Seton Hall is still in the NIT, so let's keep hope, guys. Seton Hall. I'll get to that in a minute. No, no, the women's game. No, one thing at a time. Okay, so right now, um, wait a second here. Yeah, okay. Iowa is leading Colorado 36-26. Caitlin's doing the work. Um, is there anybody here who thinks that Iowa is not going to win this matchup? A simple yes or no will suffice. All right. If anybody thinks that Iowa is not going to win, please state your name. You think Colorado's? Wow. Anyone else? Okay, so I think we're all going to agree that Iowa's going to win, especially if Caitlin Clark does her job. She has 13 points and 7 assists right now at the half. Good going. Not if South Carolina's anything to say about it because they're undefeated. That's true. That's true too. But Caitlin's giving all she's got. She's the best player in the game right now. Like I said, she's got 13 points. So but I think she's gonna win this game. All right, on to the other games of the day. Um, USC versus Baylor at 5:30. Steve Davidson. All right. Now remember, it's basketball, not football. Keep that in mind. Steve Kent. Steve Kent. All right. Mike. All right. Got a lot of Trojan fans here. Matthew. Matthew. All right. Diane. James. All right. And Greg or Kayla. They do. You're right. They do it every. Yes. All right. And what should be a great matchup here, I think is going to be UConn versus Duke. Kind of reminds me of the 99 men's final. Oh, boy. All right. Steve Davidson, who do you got? UConn, Duke. All right. Ha ha ha. Steve Kent. The All right. Mike. Okay, good. 3 for 3 so far. Diane. All right. James. Greg. It's unanimous. Okay, good. We're all going UConn. We had one game earlier today that just happened, just ended about a half an hour ago, and it was, oh boy, this is an upset, folks. LSU 78 over UCLA 69. Did anybody take LSU? That's true. That's right. Uh huh. Yeah, I was thinking UCLA, going all the way to at least the Final Four. I guess I was wrong. Anybody else think that UCLA was going to beat LSU, or did you think LSU, as the defending champions, were going to make a strong run, repeat? Okay, all right. Now we'll do tomorrow's games. All right. At least I think they play tomorrow. And yes, they do. Okay, listen carefully. Number one, South Carolina versus Oregon State. Steve. All right. Steve Kent. Mike. Diane. North Carolina. Okay. Uh, James. James. Hmm. Who's that? James. Okay, and Greg. All right. And finally, Texas, NC State. Now, some of you think that Texas, of course, has, Iowa's got to go through Texas to get there. So, Steve Kent, Steve Davidson, Texas or NC State? All right. You might be right. Steve Kent. Mike. Diane. All right. James. And, Matt and Greg. I'm going Texas. All right, guys. All right. Now we're gonna do something that we normally don't do on the show, but it's a special reason for it. Some of my callers here participated last week in a Special Olympics competition down southern New Jersey, such as a few here, and I congratulate our here. Very well done. Yes, but now for those who don't know, Greg and Mike, would you tell everybody what your events were, and how was the competition? Basketball. Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. Sure. Never? Yes. No, it's not that unusual. Not that unusual at all, Greg. It's happened before. Uh-huh. Yes, they do. They do have to do that. Yeah, so Mike, you wanna put any additional comments to that on your performance? Great job. Yeah, that's right. They are. Proud of all of you. Right, right. No, you should. No, no. No, 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 don't go there. No, yuck. Save the golf jokes for the Masters, though. A 62? Wow, that's a pretty good score, guys, 62. That's a pretty good score. Yeah, wow. Well, I congratulate both and all of our athletes that compete. It's very special. They don't play for money or whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that. They're playing for the love of what they do, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I give full credit. Yes. Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me. Speaking of that, I want to thank everybody for the birthday. I want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes that were sent out this past week. I think, Rush, and a belated happy birthday to my dad. That was on March 21st. Oh boy! So take care. Yeah. And my dad's birthday was on the 21st, so we celebrated as well. Phew. True. That's true. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, Steve, you have anything in the wrestling or UFC department? Oh, Diane, trivia. Let's hear. Let's do it. Speak up. Speak up. Sprained ankle. Oak. Oak. Sorry. Oak. That's Jimmy. Okay. Anything else? Okay. 186, 184. Yep. Nuggets. Yep. Triple OT. Very famous game. I was 13. Yeesh. Yeah. And Jimmy wasn't even born yet, right, Jimmy? Right, Jimmy, you got any thoughts? Before I move on to baseball, you got any thoughts on the tournament games? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh boy, that's gonna be that's. I know somebody who does a show in Michigan. I'll get his thoughts on Monday. Oh boy, this is gonna be a doozy on that show. Okay. Oh Taylor, if you're out there. Okay. Well, oh, that's a tough one. He was a great player at Syracuse. You know, he should have went pro. He should have went pro. He's great college. He should have went pro. He should have. Yeah. No, but you speak the truth. That's important. Remember, guys, sometimes it pays to be what we call brutally honest. Am I right or am I right? All right. So, shall I play ball? All right. First up, baseball's got started on Thursday, and the Yankees are off to a 2-0 start against the cheaters. I mean, the Houston Astros. Sorry. um, so, they're off to a good start. But now we got to do the idiots first of the week. Idiot number one, Rays shortstop Wander Franco, who wonders where he is, has been placed on administrative leave through June 1st as a potential case in the Dominican Republic is still unsolved, that according to ESPN. MLB and the Players Association reached an agreement on Franco as prosecutors continue to investigate into allegations that he, oh boy, had sexual relationship with a minor in the Dominican Republic, according to sources. That makes you that's the first idiot of the week, and there's more. The agreement, uh, sources said, follows allows Franco's status with MLB to change, in which the prosecutors they broke sexual exploitation and money laundering laws. Franco has not yet been formally charged. My question is that why not? He should be charged already. What kind of a system is this? He should be charged. I mean, you did something horrible. You did something that was immoral and illegal, and you're not charged of this. Come on. So anyway, yeah. Well, quack. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, they should have took care of this a long time ago. Yeah. So anyway, to move on, uh, sources familiar with the judicial process against Franco told ESPN there have been no significant changes. They continue to carry out the corresponding investigations with no date set to plan to file a formal accusation. In a hearing in January, prosecutors were given 6 months to present their case, accusation against Franco. Last season, Franco spent the last 6 weeks of the season on administrative leave after he was accused of having sex with a minor. At the time of the incident, Franco was only 21. The girl was 14. Ugh. Yeah, players can be put on administrative leave when under investigation by MLB for a violation of the league's domestic violence. So that's idiot number one right there. Any thoughts? You're right. So that's right. Rodgers. Yeah, right. Welcome Roger to the show. Roger, any thoughts? Yes. Yeah. I mean, you know, doing with a minor like that is totally wrong. There is no excuse for that. How stupid can you be? Unthinkable. All right, so moving on. Like I said, the Yankees are off to a good start, but they got some bad news as Cy Young winner Garrett Cole was placed on the 60-day injured list with elbow inflammation. Back on March 16th, Cole said he would not throw for 3 to 4 weeks in efforts to heal his elbow after telling reporters of a nerve irritation, and edema was the source of his problem, with rest and recovery being the treatment. The Yankees finalized their opening day roster on Thursday, also moving right-hander Tommy Cannell, right shoulder inflammation, and right-hander Kenley Moore with right knee brucitis on the 15-day injured list. DJ infielders DJ Lee Matthew with a right foot contusion, and Oswald Parenza with a right shoulder to the 10-day injured list. All four moves were retroactive to Monday. The Yankees also added John Birdie to the active roster, recalling right-hander Luis Gill from AAA Scranton and right-hander Nick Berdini to a major league contract, selected him to the roster. Cole pitched twice in spring training, once in the Grapefruit League and once in a simulated game on March 6th. He subsequently was shut down and underwent medical testing. The product out of UCLA was one of the most durable pitchers in the majors since 2017, had started 30 games this season, minus the 2020 season when we came down with you know what. Cole was 15-4 last season in the AL with an ERA of 2.63 and 209 innings pitched. He walked 48 batters and struck out 222 batters. Wow. The Yankees opened up the season on Thursday as Nestor Cortez took over for the Yankees and Framber Valdez was pitching for the Astros. And so far, the Yankees have won their first two games, and the Astros, well, 0 for 2 so far. But it's too early in the season to make a comparison to how they're going to do. I mean, I normally don't really think about this talking about, say, 50 games in. remember the Yankees have started off with some bad seasons, like going 1-3 or 1-5, and they turn out just fine. So I wouldn't be so quick to think that Houston season is done. Although I wish it was, but because I'm not a big fan of the Astros. So what do you make so far with the Yankees injuries? And has any thoughts on the Mets so far? Because they lost their home opener yesterday. That was postponed due to rain, and what could be made for this season. So let me ask the local crew first of the with the Yankees. So I'm going to start that with Roger. Yeah, if they're lucky, it's right. Uh, Mike. Yeah, right. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Okay. Diane. All right. Anyone else from outside the area? Hmm. I suppose you're referring to your Nationals. No chance, huh? Yeah. All right, now for a ridiculous story of the week here. At least I find it ridiculous. The announced crowd at the A's home opener on Thursday was a mere 13,522. More than that was at my sister's wedding. Uh, those who would have been in many empty seats to witness an 8-0 loss to the Guardians were instead protesting outside the stadium. In what might be the last opening day for the A's in Oakland, fans bought tickets but boycotted going inside the stadium as owner John Fisher moves toward the A's to Vegas in time for 2028. According to the Associated Press, the move was upbeat despite the murky future of the franchise playing inside. Oh boy. The A's announced in May of last season that an agreement to build a 33,000 seat stadium on the Vegas Strip after acquiring 380 million dollars in state government financing as well as unanimous approval from the MLB owners to franchise a rendering of the proposed stadium to be built on the parking lot of the Tropicana Resort and Casino was released earlier this month. But the current question is, where will the A's play in 2025? The current lease at the Oakland Coliseum only runs to the end of this season, so we really got a big problem here, folks. As of now, there is no plan in place as to where the A's will play their home games from 2025 to 2027. Okay, strike two. Commissioner Rob Manfred said last month that the league needs to know the A's plans by this summer to construct a schedule for next season. It's possible the A's could extend their lease in Oakland, highly unlikely though. But if that fails, maybe Sacramento or Salt Lake City could be their temporary home. Actually, they think they come to my house. Maybe not. Okay. Until there is a resolution, the A's will be playing out their season with an unknown future in the background. Judging by the opening day response, the fans will make sure their voices are heard until the final home game of the season. Let's put it this way: does Oakland have a problem, or does Oakland have a problem? I mean, you don't know where you're going to play for the next two seasons. You're not going to go to Vegas until 2028. I mean, this, right? Okay, but saying that doesn't happen. Uh, That could be a possibility. Yeah. I mean, I just don't like the idea of sharing stadiums. I mean, we do it with the Jets and the Giants, I know, whatnot. Um, the Lakers and the Clippers, but the Clippers are going to get their own arena. I mean, at least we think they are. You know, I'm just not crazy about that. So, that got to find something. I hope maybe they can find something maybe with Oakland or maybe Salt Lake or if any other wants to step in. But right now, this Oakland situation is a mess. Nobody really supports them. If they do, it's all for spite, and it's just getting more uglier as the year goes on. And I think their performance on the field is going to be another horrible year for them as they just can't even seem to compete with the rest of the league. They just seem to get worse and worse every year. And hopefully, Oakland's going to find a home to play for the next 2 years. Like I said, they could play. They could extend the lease. No, will the game allow it, and will be allow it? That's what we got to think about. So this is really this is really a big mess right now. Good luck, boy. Basically, I'm not an NFL owner. All right. So moving along. Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna move on to other things here. I'll continue with baseball. All right. The World Series champion Texas Rangers opened the 2024 season with the unveiling of their first championship banner. Thank you. The Giants began the season by revealing the visible spot on their first title before facing the White Sox at Whitefield, the Globe White Field. Manager Bruce Bochy and pitcher Josh Sorbs began the fun by wheeling out the Commissioner's Trophy. I've waited a long time, but now we share the World Series trophy with all of you, and we are looking forward to riding with you for another incredible season," said Bochy. Then came the banner complete with the Queen song "We Are the Champions" in the background. The next phase of celebration came yesterday when players and staff received their World Series rings, expecting large amounts of diamonds. Rangers finally broke through the Fall Classic last year when with the Diamondbacks. Their win was a culmination of years of investing in young players such as Josh Jung and Evan Carter, and in large free agent contracts as the World Series MVP Corey Seager, Marcus Seaman, and the rise of Adolis Garcia. Last season's trade deadline would wind up being pivotal as the hot start began to cool off. Starting pitcher Jordan Montgomery and Max Scherzer both had moments down the stretch and the postseason, though the Rangers struggled into temper as the Astros beat them for the regular season title in the AL West. The Rangers, though, got the last laugh as they beat the Astros in the ALCS and guided them their first World Series title. And escaped bad memories of falling short in 2010 and even worse 2011. Well, we all remember that as they were one strike away, not once but twice in the 10th and 11th inning, and they blew it. And the Cardinals won Game 6 on a home run by David Freese, shades of Aaron Boone from 2003. Eating, Gerald. Gerald, what do you make of the Rangers raising the banner? No, the Texas Rangers. No, no, they raised the bid. No, yeah, yeah. Well, remember they raised the banner just a few days ago. So, well, you can call it that. Wow. Yeah, I know. I mentioned that. I mentioned that. Hello, Miriam. Yeah, yeah. We're discussing the Rangers with the raising the banner. But how do you think your Nationals are going to look though this year? or no comment. Yeah, I was aware of that. But I think you should be happy for your Rangers, Joe, that they have raised the banner, and they're gonna look maybe forward to maybe repeating it this season, as the case. Yeah. What's the magic number? 160 already? Wow. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Mhm. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts? All right. I guess not. Yeah. Yeah. I'll get, I'll get to that in a little while. I'll get to that in a little while. I know. I know. We're just gonna cover that. Okay. So let's wrap up a few baseball notes here as well. Um, okay. Uh, Nelson Cruz finished his duties throwing out the ceremonial pitch before the Mariners opened the regular season against the Red Sox. Walked over to a stand behind home plate. Then he signed a ceremonial one-day contract that allows Cruz to retire as a member of the Mariners organization before Thursday's opener. Cruz announced retirement following last season. He spent parts of 19 seasons with 8 major league teams, his longest with the Rangers for 8 seasons. Cruz, however, spent 4 very impactful seasons with the Mariners from 2015 to 2018. He was a 3-time All-Star with the Mariners, leading the AL with 119 RBIs in 2017 and hit 163 home runs in those 4 years, more than he with 8 seasons with the Rangers. How about that? Cruz has a special connection with Seattle, which is why he decided to retire as a Mariner. I always thought of myself as a Mariner, even though I played more with the Rangers. He finished his career with 464 home runs, 1,325 RBIs. He played 49 games for the Padres last season, which turned out to be his last. So, but what a way to go out. I always thought him as a Ranger too, but he had his best work um, with the Mariners, so that's why he chose it. Okay, I get it. Even though you're had twice as long as a career, but he was seeming more productive with the Mariners, so that's why he also chose that as well. Even though I'm not a Mariners fan at all. So, any thoughts on that? On Cruz's retirement? Yes, that's exact. All right. One more base. You might be right about that. I think he still got some stuff left in him, but that was his choice. Well, no, he's been around 18 seasons. I think it's long enough. No, I think it's the right time. 18 years old. Right. Yeah. Mhm. Yes. All right, just a few more baseball notes. Tyler O'Neill hit his fifth opening day home run, setting a new MLB record. It was against the team that drafted him, and the Red Sox won 6-4 over the Mariners on Thursday. You always want to kick off the season with a bang, said O'Neill. I can't blame him for that. Fortunately, I have been able to do that a few times now, just having to run out there. Rafael Davis homered and doubled off Mariners ace Luis Castillo, but it was O'Neill's home run, the first pitch from Cody Bolton in the eighth that gave the Red Sox the lead for good and made history. O'Neill homered in the previous 4 opening days with the Cardinals, tying in with Todd Hundley, Gary Carter, and Yogi Berra, excuse me. Uh, that was for you, Diane. He was the Mariners. Yes. Hey, boom. We're going to give me a picnic basket. No. Okay. He was the Mariners' top prospect before being traded to the Cardinals back in 2017. The home runs were and solid pitching helped Red Sox manager Alex Cora get his first opening name win as a manager. Devers hit an opposite field two-run homer on an elevated fastball from I think it's Castillo actually in the third inning with one out in the third. And was a one-out double in the fifth that helped lead to another run for the Red Sox. Connor Wong added a two-out RBI single in the sixth on a pitch well off the plate. Red Sox starter Brian Bello pitched 5 innings and limited the damage to Mitch Hanger's two-run homer after he spent last season with the San Francisco Giants. Kenley Jansen pitched the ninth and recorded a save for the Red Sox, where he made 29 saves last season. 5 home runs on 5 consecutive opening days. Might have something there, guys. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good accomplishment itself. Okay. I had another baseball story here that I think you might find interesting, or maybe something you might not, depending on if you actually know the person. Well, let me ask you: you guys ever hear of a guy named Bob Euchre? Yep. Good. Well, he's just when you thought he was done, he's still going to be doing broadcasting. Yep. He's going to be calling. He's going to be calling Milwaukee Brewers games for the 46th season. He'll return to the mic when the Brewers open their home on Tuesday. Now, just how many games that he'll call, that remains to be uncertain. Come on, the guy's 90 years old, for crying out loud. Euchre called his first pitch at a Brewers game. That means that the summer is officially here, said by Rick Schlesinger, the president of operations, said that back on Thursday in a statement. The Brewers released on social media that Bob expects to be behind the mic on April 2nd and will take it day by day. The Euchre began calling games for the Brewers since 1971 and has been a part of the Brewers broadcast team ever since. Though the past several years, he's only been limited to home radio broadcasts. I don't know how he did that when he was doing Mr. Belvedere, to be honest with you. And the Miller Lite commercials. Uh, yeah, I wonder how he found time to do the broadcast games from Milwaukee. Boy, talk about a commuting problem. Last season, Euchre maintained a regular pregame presence on the field and in the locker room. He even participated in the Brewers' locker room celebration when they won the AL Central. I think I saw that. Euchre has been on national TV games as well. Back when NBC had the game of the week in the 70s and 80s, if my memory is correct. And he's also had a successful acting career, like with Mr. Belvedere, which ran for 5 years. And it also appeared in the Miller Lite TV commercials. But one thing, did he say it was less filling or taste great? I can't remember, though. Okay, never mind. Uh, yeah, but it's nice to see him back behind the mic, even though at his age. I mean, you guys still stand at 90 years old to pull that off. I mean, it's not easy to do. I mean, most broadcasters, are yelling about stuff. But then again, our Yankee broadcaster has been around for quite a while, and he's getting up there in age too. He's about 84, 85 years old. So, it just goes to show that as long as you guys still got the energy to do it, I think you can still go. I mean, yeah, like I said, like John Sterling, our Yankee broadcaster, he's getting up there in age too, and he's still calling games for the Yankees, and deservedly so. He called some of the most memorable games I think in Yankee history, especially that game in 2003. Yeah, so it's nice to see that some of the legends are still with us. They're still calling games. Do it, do it. Okay, Alex. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I really liked some of 'em on Easter weekend. Yeah, but still, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, now we go. Now we're going to go to the UFL. The UFL starts today. We got the Birmingham Stallions against the Arlington Renegades, which played this afternoon. That was a 1 o'clock game. Right now, Seattle, St. Louis rather, is playing against Michigan. Um, those are today. So, what do you make of this so far with these games right now? And right now, it's score between St. Louis and Michigan. So, okay, it's good. All right, so yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, this league is going to be another example of why spring football just does not work. I mean, we tried so many times. The XFL, the original USFL, the EAF, which is horrible. Um, the WLAF from 74, 75. It just goes to show you that spring football does not work. Yeah, what was that, Alex? Wait a minute, guys. One at a time. Uh, Go ahead, Alex. I'll give it a week. All right. Anybody else have any thoughts? I really don't see how this is going to succeed. Yeah. I mean, it's not like real NFL football, even though it's backed by the league. But I don't see it. How much like I mean, you came from two failed leagues, the USFL and the XFL, and they folded up. So the only way this could survive was a merger. But nobody really cares about this. No one's going to be paying attention to it. It's diehard football fans, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, it just doesn't. Yeah. Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. So let's go tomorrow. All right. Tomorrow's games. Let's go to that right now. Okay. DC versus San Antonio. All right. Steve. Okay. Um, Matt. All right. Like I said, for the UFL tomorrow, we have where'd it go? Okay. DC versus San Antonio. Diane. Mike. San, San Antonio or DC. Okay. Continuing on. Jimmy. Roger. Miriam. Gerald. Alex. Uh, Dana, is that you? All right. All right. The Useless Football League. I mean the UFL. First game is the first game for the UFL is well for tomorrow is DC and San Antonio. Who do you got? I thought not. Mike, did I get you on that one? I'm gonna go with DC myself. Okay, and game number two. Remember, guys, there's only 8 teams in the league. Memphis, Houston, Gerald. All right, you heard it here first, folks. Steve, Matt, Diane, Jimmy, Roger, Miriam, Alex. I'll get to you in a minute. Dana, Mike. Um, I'm gonna go Memphis. Now remember, it's a 10-week season with 8 teams, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. But start small, right? All right, we'll move on. Yes, you do. All right, for the first time in 40 years, Clemson has the Elite Eight after shutting down Caleb Love and the second seed Wildcats for much of the night, held down the stretch to grab a 77-72 lead with the Wildcats late last night. That officially secured the Tigers' second only Elite Eight appearances. So it also marked Arizona's fourth straight Sweet 16 loss season under head coach Tommy Lloyd. Oh boy. They were deserving teams, said Lloyd. They seem to have one of a kind formula working. Uh, kind of jumping people in 3 games in a row. They got up and forced teams to play from behind. We dug deep and got ourselves back into the game, but we were just not able to take that next step. For much of the night, Love and the Wildcats offense was off in general. They got off to the worst start possible by opening the game on the wrong side of a 16-6 run. Love was over 5 from the field to start. And Clemson took full advantage of the Tigers' double-digit lead deep into the second half, while largely dominating the floor on defense. Chase Hunter stuffed Omar Ballo at the rim. Then Chauncey Williams followed it. It was a clutch three-pointer after Love committed the bad turnover off the back. Ballo cut the lead to single digits at the half with a pair of double dunks, including a one-handed slam off an assist by Jaden Bradley, but the Wildcats were still down by 8. Finally, the Wildcats came alive. They came out at the half with a 12-4 run, tied the game up with a layup 2 minutes into the second half. Love made another layup 2 minutes later and gave them their first lead of the game. But the offensive stretch was short-lived. Arizona was shut down again almost entirely, despite reaching the free throw line about every time the Wildcats attacked the rim, with double bonus just seconds after the midway point. And the period they started setting bad shots from the arc. They only made one of their next 19 field goal attempts, which allowed the Tigers to take a step ahead the rest of the way. Arizona came close one final time after Bradley got a three-pointer to fall, which cut Clemson's lead to 2 points with just under a minute left. Yeah, Hunter came through, on the other hand, converting and a one layup that sent Coach Brandon Bowell into a fist pump on the sidelines. His brother Dylan followed suit with his own three-pointer to give the Tigers a 5-point victory. So, anybody see that game, first of all? Nobody saw it. Well, I thought it was a good game, to be honest. I mean, because they really did look weak, in the beginning, and I really thought it was going to run away with it. I mean, because uh, Clemson just seemed to dominate much of the game, and I was kind of surprised there. I forgot, because Clemson isn't really known for basketball anyway; they're known more for football as well, and they just seem to just take over. I mean, making a run, at the end of the game, yeah, it's a good effort, but sometimes it's a little bit too late, and it's just not enough, to come back from. But Clemson moves on against Alabama, and that should be a doozy. Of course, we'll see what happens after that. Okay, moving on. Okay, the NBA fined Sixers head coach Nick Nurse and forward Kelly Oubre were fined $50,000 for officials after they lost to the Clippers. In the case, he was fined for pursuing and verbally abusing the officials and directed an obscene gesture towards the officials. The controversial lawsuit Sixers, who argued that Oubre Jr. was fouled, by Paul George before his game-winning shot attempted was blocked by Kawhi Leonard. There was no call in the play, and the Clippers got a one-point victory. Engaged by the call, Nurse rushed to the court and had Sixers personnel. He was not alone. Oubre Jr. took the opportunity to point at each official. I will not repeat what do you say here due to the obvious reasons, of course. Nurse said after the game that there was not enough to contact to garner a call, but that's how it goes sometimes, he added. Oubre remained steadfast that the foul should have been called when speaking to the media afterward, but also apologized for his actions. In the end, both Oubre and Nurse were correct in their brief as the officials amid a missed call after the game. Yeah, sometimes that the referees can make stupid calls too, and that will cost the players the game. They have to get it right. That's what they're paid to do. I think Nurse has a a legitimate reason to be angry. I mean, you don't go and curse the team. I mean, curse the officials, of course. That's not showing any class. But he does have a. I think he does have a legitimate argument in that sense. And idiot number two. Well, Warriors star player Draymond Green on Thursday expressed regret again, less than 4 minutes in the game, with a victory over the Magic on Wednesday night. It just can't happen. Green said on his podcast. I said I said what I said and deserved to be kicked out at that point. If I'm all the way honest with everybody, I was kind of trying to turn my body and angle it and go to the bench. But what I said was a bit too soon before I angled my body, but it just can't happen. Green began arguing with the official, Ray Costa, after being called for his first personal foul. A few plays later, Stephon Curry was called for a shooting foul. Green approached Acosta and started yelling at him, and it was a technical foul. And when it did not stop, Acosta gave him another technical foul, and was out 4 minutes into the game. It was his fourth injection of the season and his second in the first quarter. He is the first player to be ejected 4 times in the season since Kevin Durant did it 5 times in the 2017-2018 season. Draymond Green is nothing more than the modern day version of Dennis Rodman. Let's put it that way right now, guys. It was also the 18th career injection of the regular season. Yes. Oh, yes. If that, mhm, right. Yes. Yes. Maybe you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're not. You're not supporting your team. Right. That's a He's not the for his team. He only looks out for himself. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, enough is enough. I mean, how much more can what the officials take? I mean, like I said, he is the modern day Dennis Rodman because we know how bad he was back in the '90s, always getting fouled for whatever. It's like a modern day version of him. Is that the last? That's the last thing we need. Yeah. Uh-oh, Steve, we got a problem here. Your Capitals. Well, I shouldn't say it's actually kind of a little bit sad because your defenseman Ethan Bear has entered the player assistance program. Bear will be away for a while as he receives care from the league and the union, which join to run the program together. Bear is the fifth player this year to after the Blue Jackets, the Avalanche, Sam Gernard, Valerie Niskin, and former teammate Ingve Kuznov. The Capitals placed him on waivers after his career to practice set him to minors before being traded to the Hurricanes. Bear has played in 24 games since signing a 2-year deal with the Capitals in December. He had been a healthy scratch for the past 7 games, as the Capitals have won the last 5, moving them closer to the playoffs. The Capitals recalled defenseman Vincent Lorio and Matthew Phillips as the news broke out. Bear and 3 games left. Tom Wilson. The Capitals face the Maple Leafs on Thursday. So what do you make of that? With your defenseman. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, by the way, good news for you, Steve. Capitals are not moving to Northern Virginia. The proposal, yes, yeah, bro. All right. Yeah. So that's good. So that's good news, Steve, that you're going to stay in Washington. I bet you're happy about that. Yeah, the governor told the league the news, and so yeah, you're safe. Yeah. 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 He is. Yeah. Right. Well, we know that. Yeah, especially his age. Yeah. All right. I got some news on my area. Uh, the New York Rangers are head back to the playoffs after Thursday's overtime win against the Criers. I mean the Flyers, with some help from other teams. The Rangers will look to hoist the cup for the first time in 30 years. 30 years, folks. Entering Tuesday, the Rangers had three scenarios to clinch a playoff spot. One, to beat the Flyers in any fashion. Two, the Red Wings lose to the Capitals. Sorry, Steve. In regular. Three, the Rangers pick up a point, and the Red Wings, would lose in any fashion to the Capitals. The first scenario came to fruition when uh, when Adam, hold on, Adam Fox scored the game-winning goal in overtime to lift the Rangers to an overtime win and clinching a playoff spot. It was huge. It was huge. Hughes said, "That's what you plan for at the end of the season. That's what the first step was for us." Fox said, with 10 games to go, now I think nine. So we keep sharp and keep our foot on the gas. We want to keep racking up points and get it down for the playoffs. The Rangers, who made the playoffs for the third straight season, will look to make it further as they did a year ago after losing the first round to the Devils. The Rangers are 48, 20, and 40 at the report. They're going to go. Yeah. Uh, and they're looking to get the President's Trophy, which is the award for the team with the highest total, the best points total of the year. So, and they're in good shape for that. But they have 100 points, but it's a close race between the Panthers, Bruins, and Hurricanes, all in close range. So, this is going to be a tight race to see who's going to get the President's Trophy and the overall number one seed for the playoffs. But remember, we've seen this before, guys, where a team that's got the President's Trophy gets an early X in the playoffs, and I just don't want this curse to continue. We've seen this happen many times. Look what happened to the Bruins last year. They set the record for the most points and the most wins in regular season history, and they got ousted in the first round of the playoffs. So, you know, can the Rangers have enough to break the President's Trophy curse, or is it might be another one of these instances? And right now, laugh if you will. Yeah, you guys stay sharp. I mean, it's not easy to do. You have, I mean, you have this momentum going in, and all of a sudden you seem to lose your composure once you get there. I mean, because you gotta have something to prove when you get there. I mean, you're at the regular season chance for a reason, and you have to maintain that in the playoffs. Otherwise, you're not gonna get past the first or second round. It's Yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, the Rangers, they did do it back in '94. They had that, but they also did that in 1992, and they lost in the second round. So I've seen this before. It's there's a lot to live up to when you're the regular season champions and hoping everybody's making predictions. Oh, you're gonna cruise right through the playoffs. You're gonna have no problem at all. It doesn't always work that way. And you got to worry about your other opponents too. Like I just said, the Bruins who are trying to I think shake off last year's uh, embarrassing moment in the 7 game series. But remember, their key players were hurt, like Patrice Bergeron, and I think that might have played a role in them losing in the first round. If they were, because remember, it only takes one injury that can make it that could turn the whole postseason around. You gotta stay healthy. You gotta stay sharp. You can't, especially your top players, can't get injured because they're going to need you when it matters most. If one of your key players is out, it can turn the whole season around, and then you'll be a little bit of disappointment. You know, stay sharp, stay healthy, don't suffer any serious injuries. Ugh. And but I'm looking to see if we're gonna have a rematch of 1994 between the Rangers and the Canucks. I'm still sticking to that. So to the Rangers, 6. Yes, it's Saturday, people, and it's. All right. Before I do anything else with our other features, can I ask a stupid question? Now, this is concerning next week. Now, I'll probably do this in my Jerry Seinfeld invitation. Why would you put WrestleMania and the Final Four in the same week? That's preposterous. I don't get it. What is the deal? But Steve, on the same weekend at both events, come on. But the Final Four to get there is Saturday. So that's not right. I mean, you got basketball fans, they're going to have to try and choose what they want to see. I mean, I don't think that's right. You can't have two big events the same day. Uh, and a part of oh, uh, all right. All right. Well, um, now we're going to go to our one of our features. Um, best and worst of March. All right. Who's got a best and the worst for the month? Anybody can answer. Yes. All right. Anybody else have anything for the best and worst of the month? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Right. But it's early yet. It's early. All right. Anybody else? Anyone else? Yes. Well, that's not a sport article, but I'll give you that. All right. Diane? Well, that is a tragedy, but yeah. All right. Anyone else? You can say that again. Okay. Okay. My best and worst was what happened with the brother of R.J. Barrett, who lost his life this past month. Of course. My second was the arrival of the the UFL. Oh boy. The best of the month as a tie, I think, with Caitlin Clark breaking the all-time scoring record in basketball history, Division One, and LeBron James hitting the 40,000 point mark. All right. So, does anybody have any Easter wishes at this time? Because I want to get that. Go ahead. Anyone else? Thank you. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Easter to all my family and the immediate family, and the family here, of course. As of course we are a family, even though we're not really by blood, but we're still a family. We've lasted this long, and we shall continue, of course. So it's been a great Easter, and I hope you find time to celebrate with your family and whatnot, and may it be a joyous one at that. All right, quickly for the this week in sports history. 1990, Jack Nicklaus made his debut on the senior tour with his 71 win, one and beat Gary Player by 4 strokes. 1991, first exhibition baseball game at Joe Robbie Stadium, the Yankees versus the Orioles. Okay. Also, 1991, Michigan won their first ever NCAA hockey title. 19, a lot of cricket news. I don't know that. Okay, 1996, be the Yankees 5-3 exhibition game. I remember that. Oh yeah, almost forgot about that. But that's exhibition though. Um, Players Championship. Okay, Steve Elkington of Australia led wire to wire for his second Players Championship title. 1998 at the Men's Basketball Championship, Kentucky beat Utah 70-69. Wildcats their second time in 3 seasons and seventh overall. Michael Phelps breaks the 200 meter butterfly record at the U.S. World Championships at Austin Austin becomes the youngest player, the youngest male swimmer to hit that mark. Okay. Um, Anything else? Oh, we're short on history this week. Okay, fair enough. Boy, I never saw so many news about cricket though, because we don't really follow cricket in this country. But I guess for some reason, I guess no. Okay, so next week, of course, the Final Four will review that because the games are going on, and we'll have another few as well. Our look at the monthly schedule and standings, and we'll take a look at other going to the sports world because April's going to be a big month in the sports world, guys. So just be aware of that because there's going to be a lot of events over those 30 days. So, does anybody else have any final thoughts before we sign off? Thank you. Mhm. All right. Anybody else? You got 30, we got 45 seconds. Okay. All right, guys. Well, on that note, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. And we'll be back again next week, same time, same station. So, on that note, have a good and have a very safe holiday. On that note, good night.